Welcome to Trans Confessions. We have here today the lovely and exquisite Khloe Kay. How are you, Khloe?
Good. How are you?
Good to hear. I'm good. Very excited to have you here today. We're going to ask you a bunch of questions about your life, your transition, just being trans and doing porn and all that good stuff. So tell us, where are you from and how old are you?
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm 24.
So you're a Vegas local.
Yeah, I'm born
That's
and raised
awesome.
here.
Don't meet a lot of people born and raised in Vegas. A lot of them are transplants, so that's really cool.
Mhm.
And so you grew up here,
I did.
and when did you graduate then?
I graduated high school in 2013.
Now, we'll get right into it. When did you transition?
I transitioned February 12, 2016.
So that was after high school?
Yeah, it was 3 years after high school.
And how was it in high school for you, just knowing that you were trans? Were you feminine presenting? What was your experience like?
I had a very good experience. I was never bullied or anything, but I was more on the more feminine side of, being male. But no, I was respected because I never pushed, any boundaries or anything.
So you never had to deal with bullies or anything with that thing or anything, or?
No, I didn't. I never presented myself as a woman in high school.
Oh,
I still
okay.
dressed as a male,
Yeah.
but everyone knew that I was, gay at the time or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Did you have boyfriends or?
I had long distance boyfriends.
Yeah.
I never really shit where I ate to say. It's I didn't have that side in high school. I was more closed off.
So you had long distance boyfriends in high school. How'd you meet them on just the internet?
Yeah, just MySpace or Facebook at the time.
Cool. And did you ever meet them in person or?
I only met one of them in person.
How'd that go?
Good. We're still friends to this day.
Cool. That's
Mhm.
awesome. And when you met him in high school, did he know anything about your being transgender? Were you still in the closet with that, or?
He didn't know, but after he moved to town to be with me, I left him probably about a year into our relationship, and then I transitioned about a year and a half, 2 years after that, and he told me in the process of a breakup, I've always thought that there was something different, or that you weren't telling me, or you couldn't commit to me in this sense.
Did you guys hook up again after you transitioned, or?
No, we never did.
That would have been cute.
Mm-hmm.
So, at what point in your life did you know or think that you were transgender?
I would say when I was 20, so probably about 2 years after I graduated high school, is when I really, is when you start your adulthood, and that's when it was kind of just experiences and not being happy and having to present yourself a certain way in high school and living a normal life, and I was just kind of sick and tired of it.
How was it emotionally coming out and transitioning? Did you find a lot of support or
It was emotional on my family. They've been supportive since the beginning, but it was just more coming to finding yourself. That was the emotional part. But my family's been by my side since the beginning of it. I told my mom, and she was helped me find a therapist to get my subscription and everything, so it was super easy.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's getting easier and easier as
Mm-hmm.
time goes on to just be trans and come out with it, and it's less shocking, I feel like,
Yeah.
So tell me about your family. Who's in your family and who'd you grow up with?
I grew up with my mom, my dad, my grandma on my mom's side has been in my life since the beginning, and my brother as well.
Cool. And your mom and dad are married, or?
Yeah, they just celebrated their 30th anniversary.
Oh, wow. That's so
Mhm.
exciting. Your whole family was supportive, not just your mom, right?
Yeah, so my entire family. At first, my dad was just a little confused at the thought of that, that his son wanted
Oh, my
to
goodness.
be a woman. But over time, he just wanted me to be happy and that he loves me regardless,
Awesome.
So yeah.
That's great that your family is really supportive.
Mhm.
When did you start working? Not porn, but just normal jobs.
I got my first job when I was 18, so about 3 years before I transitioned, and it was at Abercrombie & Fitch.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. So I went because they're a real job. I was just a model, folded the clothes, greeted people.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And you were in transition at that point, yeah?
No.
I think at one point you told me you had transitioned on a job or something like while you're working? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so after I worked at Abercrombie and Fitch, I got a job at Starbucks, and that's when I started figuring out my womanhood, and I transitioned in the workplace at Starbucks. And around that time, I was going through school to be a makeup artist, so then I got a job at Ulta Beauty as well as Starbucks simultaneous, and I transitioned in both fields.
And how would your coworkers take that? Were they like, was it a problem for like your manager or?
No, my manager at Starbucks was actually part of the LGBTQ community, so she was very supportive of me, and all my coworkers were really supportive. And of course, working at Ulta, it's a beauty field, so everyone was super on board too.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you say transition has improved your life?
I'm more confident now. I actually feel myself. I feel like I have a better relationship with my family. My brother and I have a better connection now. My entire life, he was never in my life, but now like I'm his little sister. He takes more care of me and everything. So it's been like a big improvement, honestly.
So you would say that maybe you as a person are more open to like connections and relationships with your family and friends and stuff?
Yeah.
So what's stronger now that you feel like yourself, or?
100%, because I feel like I can be myself around them now, and they can actually get to know the real me, not just on like shell or like a wall.
Right. So you worked at Starbucks and you worked at Abercrombie and Fitch,
Mm-hmm.
and then how on earth did you get into porn?
Well, around the time that I was working at Ulta, because I did quit Starbucks, so Ulta was my only job, I was going to the gym a lot, and I was kind of scouted at the gym. Somebody approached me to be like a atmosphere model here in town for like some rapper who came to town. So of course in my mind I'm like, oh, he wants me to be an escort or something,
Right.
Well, he didn't know I was trans, so I didn't acknowledge the fact, and I was just like blew it off. Thinking on it, because at the time I was like, had some low end job. I joined a sugar daddy site called Seeking Arrangements.
I've heard of it.
Yes, and so on there, my old agent scouted me because I was super fit and I was at it said trans on my profile, and he was trying to make the change into trans porn. So then he hit me up, and I was not for it at the time. And then about a year and a half into our friendship, I finally said like I'm down to do it. Like I thought about it for a long time.
Yeah? What made you finally decide I want to do this?
A relationship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was in a committed relationship and it just went south, and so I kind of just made my own decisions at that point.
So porn was like a rebound, kind of like...
In a way, yes. I
Yeah.
wanted to do porn ever since I was 18
Oh, wow.
and like still in high school, but I just feel like I
Yeah.
didn't have the aesthetic to be a gay performer. But then when I transitioned, I was like, I can definitely do this.
Yeah.
So I just kind of meditated on it and just thought about it, and I finally hit it back up, and I was like, I'm ready.
So let's hear about your first scene ever. What was it? Who was it with? How did it go?
My first scene was with Christian XXX, and it was for pureTS.com. It went good. I feel like walking into it, I wasn't nervous. I was more nervous at the repercussions that it would have with like if my family found out or just like in general. But yeah, it went super smooth.
Great. And so you were nervous. How was like the response to your first scene?
Super good. I was actually really surprised because, walking into your first scene, you don't know if you're going to go anywhere or do anything or get more work. You're just going to kind of put yourself out there and, like be vulnerable in that sense. So it was cool to see the good, encouragement that I got from it.
And it's probably really exciting to be seen like beautifully as a woman. And,
Yes.
Like, revered for that. And
Mm-hmm.
so from there, you've gotten a lot of work since then, and you've been all around.
Mm-hmm.
What are your favorite scenes to do? Like, what kind of stuff are you into?
I like more of the Gonzo scenes. Evil Angel, I love shooting for Evil Angel. I feel like that's where I have a lot of my strongest scenes at with.
It's a lot of like freedom to kind of be yourself on those sets.
Yeah.
I find.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah, so that's really great. Now, you've got a best friend,
Mm-hmm.
and she's with this girl,
She is.
about your age, right?
Yep, they're the same age.
And you told me something before this, a little scandalous, that nobody knows about.
Mm-hmm.
She had a boyfriend. How long ago was this?
This was probably about 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago? So she had a boyfriend, and then you slept with a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Naughty, naughty.
Mm-hmm.
Bad girl. How did that come to happen?
So, me and my best friend at the time, we met this guy on Black Friday, and this was before I transitioned. And like I was like super into him, but I didn't know how to like go about it because I know if he was like swung that way or whatever. So then she kind of went in and got his attention, and you know they started dating each other. So then, like 2 years later, I transitioned, and he was like hitting me up on Facebook and stuff. So, you know, telling me how like I'm pretty and like, oh, you're a TS now and this and that, whatever. So I think it kind of like sparked a curiosity in his head, and he hit me up one day to hang out, and he came over, and yeah.
And your friend didn't know about this?
No, she didn't know about it.
And to this day, she doesn't know, huh?
Mm-mm.
So what? He comes over. Why was he coming over? He has like gonna like hang out, watch a movie or something, or?
Well, I've always had like a sexual attraction to him.
Since before transition.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I always thought he was like super hot. So the second I got the chance to, or you know, I hopped on it. So
Literally?
yeah, literally. So I invited him over. He came over to watch movies. We all know what that means. One thing led to another, and we, you know, fucked.
Started screwing.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to happen a lot. Do you think he wanted to fuck you before your transition, or was this like kind of an open for him to get in you?
I feel like there was some kind of like, you know, like he would fuck me, but he wasn't comfortable with himself yet.
A lot of sexual tension, maybe.
Yeah, until
Sure, that went away after that.
yeah, until I, you know, became more feminine and whatever. So
Cool. Is he good fuck?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You like that dick?
Oh, I loved it. He was uncut. It was the first uncut dick I ever had in my life.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Cut or uncut? What's your favorite?
I don't know. I think I like sucking uncut dick, but I like fucking cut dick.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been a lot of fun talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're very interesting, and it's been really interesting learning about your life. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for coming over and
Awesome.
doing this interview. And you're gorgeous.
Thank you.
And we'll get right into it.
Thank you for having me.
See you later.
Bye.